The Lost Crafter, written by Jeffrey 1000, Chapter 2, Midnight Fight. Steve awoke from his bed. He expected to feel the bright, warm light shine on his cheek, but he couldn't feel it. He looked around his little house. It was one room with a bed on the right side. Viewing from the entrance and the furnace, crafting table, and a chest on the opposite side, he peered outside the door. The entrance was hidden behind thick brush. He had to take a step outside and was surprised to see it was still night. The crafter gave it some thought. Does time work differently here? But when I sleep, it should skip the day automatically, Steve thought to himself. He didn't know what time it was because he left his clock back home. He continued to walk through the forest. After about an hour of walking, he came upon a small town. The town appeared to be empty. Did they evacuate? They could just be in a town gathering. Everything looked like it was new. Then he saw someone. It looked like a combination of a unicorn and a Pegasus. What are they called again? Dang it. What did Mitch say? Mitch was an old friend. He was more interested in mythology than he was. She was almost entirely black. The mare stood the same height as him and was equipped with a chest plate and a helmet. She had a tattoo-like drawing on her flank. It was an aquamare crescent moon. Steve equipped his armor. As he creeped closer, he took one step which made a small thud. The rather big pony turned around at the sound of his boots. "Who's there?" she questioned rather loudly. Me," Steve said, giving a small wave. "Who are you?" "Hast thou not heard of Nightmare Moon?" Nightmare Moon asked. "Well, now I did," Steve answered, to which she glared in response. "I'm Steve." "'Tis a strange name," she commented. "It's simple. I like it," Steve responded. "So, were you responsible for the rather long night?" She smirked in response. "Yes, but before ye gets upset, we have a proposal for thou," she told him. "And what would that be?" Steve questioned, raising an eyebrow. "Help us destroy any pony who objects our land, and thou shalt have substantial power over the land and the people." "So, kill them?" "Yes, from what we heard, thou dost not have good relations with them." "To be honest, I don't care what happens to these ponies. However, I have no interest in destroying them. I can't blame them for what happened. Well, not entirely. That being said," Steve got into a fighting stance, "I cannot let you do that to them." "Thou was a fool for messing with a goddess." "Bring it on." Nightmare Moon fired one shot at Steve, to which he easily dodged. "You'll have to do better than that," Steve yelled at her. This time, Steve jumped at her, sword raised high. As he came down, she quickly teleported away. He turned around to see two hooves hitting him smack in the face. Facing up, he quickly blocked a beam of magic she shot at him. He got up, only to roll over and dodge another magic beam. He lunged at her, sword in hand. She dodged the slice, but was caught with a roundhouse kick, knocking her off her feet. As she attempted to fight back with her magic, Steve grabbed her horn. "Not today," he replied, slamming her head into the ground. She pushed him to the side with her hoof, before turning into a cloud of black mist. "That's what I thought," Steve yelled at the mist, as if trying to get a reaction out of her. He took a quick look around the small town before he decided to head home and throw in the towel. About an hour into the walk, he heard a stick snap. Looking for the source, he turned to his right. There stood a wolf, but it wasn't like a regular wolf. This wolf was made of wood. The crafter tried to get a better look at it. I probably should have brought some night vision potions, he told himself. The wolf stared Steve down. Steve wasn't sure if it was just curious or if it was planning on how to make him his midnight snack. Suddenly, another wolf jumped at him from behind, but Steve barely managed to dodge it. Quickly equipping his sword, he sliced one that tried to take a bite out of him in two. Then he brought his sword down on the one to his left. The first one he saw decided to act. It grabbed onto his arm and tried taking a chunk. Luckily, there was too much armor between it and his skin. Steve's body slammed it into the ground, breaking its head into a million tiny pieces. He got back up and jabbed his sword through yet another one. There was one more left. If you like your life, I suggest you scram, he threatened it. As if obeying his command, the wolf turned and ran, disappearing into the darkness. Finally, I can head home. After another 2 hours, Steve finally arrived back at his base. Sighing, he trudged into his home. Leaning his sword on the wall next to his bed, he climbed in the bed and went to sleep. The next morning, Steve awoke to the feeling of a bright, warm beam of light shining on his cheek. He smiled as he got out of bed. It was morning finally. He decided to take a quick walk outside to see what this world was like. It was nice and sunny. Bees were buzzing and birds were chirping. No sight of any highly intelligent life. Everything was like back home, except there was a much larger variety of animals. He whistled as he walked through the bright forest. He couldn't remember the last time he could go for a calm walk. Usually there's something out to kill him. What does it take for a man to get a nice calm walk out here? He remembered Gareth would shout whenever they came upon any monster. Alex was always the one to kill it. He laughed at the memory of how mad she was when he beat her to it. Hey, you stole my kill! Alex shouted at Steve. It's hard to kill, his friend Boris said. Good memories, he said under his breath. Now, they're all gone. Boris shot during a raid, Carlos blown to Kingdom Come by a creeper, and Alex. Steve didn't really know how she died. Mitch was with her, but he died before he could tell Steve. Steve! He heard Mitch shout. Mitch? Steve turned to his friend who was crawling to him. What the nether happened? Where's Alex? Dead, he responded. We were caught off guard by... The crafter couldn't finish his sentence before a witch threw a potion of harming at him, killing him. He let out one last cry before perishing. No! Steve shouted. Steve quickly snapped out of his thoughts. Sighing, he decided the best place to go was that town. Well, guys, I hope you enjoyed Chapter 2 of this story. It was really fun recording this. There might be some noise in the background. I'm sorry, I can't do anything about that. So, yeah. Yeah. But anyways, I am very excited to read the next chapter of the story. It'll probably come out next Monday or Tuesday, I do not know. Yeah. Anyways, I hope you all enjoyed. Thanks for watching, and I will see all of you next time. Bye-bye.